episode of Your Faith and Health Community. I'm your host, Pastor Jackie Jackson, and as always, on behalf of myself and our producer, Anita Alexander, we want to thank you very much for taking out time from your day to spend with us. We hope that we give you some information that will be life-changing. Now, I'm going to make this real quick. I'm going to shock the mess out of you. If you haven't gotten enrolled in healthcare, go do it. That's all I'm going to say. Right this time. I'll be back another time. We'll give you a whole lot. Because you know, we were doing the show with Geneva Clark, who is from the Cincinnati Gospel Mission. Cincinnati Gospel Mission. Can I say City? From the City Gospel Mission. Yes. And she is the managing life coach for the courage, having the courage to change. I love that title. And if you saw the last show, we're just continuing that, where we were talking about the program. We're going to do a little deep dive into that. There's the beginning. Well, first, thank you for staying a little bit longer. See, I'm excited because the information was good. Right, so we want to jump into this thing and get going. What was the very first steps, the first house? What was that again?
The first house was the New Beginnings house. That's where it all begins.
So the New Beginnings, I guess you could say that's self-explanatory. We know that's number 8. From biblical, 7 is completion, 8 is new beginnings. Yes. So the number 8 house, New Beginnings. What happens there that you can tell us?
Okay, so coming in. Of course, you go to an intake. Anybody that's watching will see an intake number there, and you call that intake line, and somebody is going to call you back, and they'll do an initial phone interview with you. They'll ask you some preliminary questions, your name, your age, and whatnot, and then if they feel like you're a good fit, they'll tell you about the program. You think it's for you. Then they'll bring you in for a face-to-face interview with either the male case manager or the female case manager. And then after that, you go for the interview. You'll probably be told at that time if you're accepted or not. Then once you're accepted in, you can either bring your stuff and come right in, or you'll get a scheduled intake date. Then you get your intake date, you'll come in to either the Exodus for men or New Beginnings for women. And there you'll be starting an orientation. It's really a visitor. Because even in the first 7 days, if you feel like, this might not work, because it is kind of close, it's very relational, and people are close. So it's not like it's really big. It's really like a family. You're living in a house. These are houses, so they're not buildings, except for Exodus. It is, sort of big, but it's still close as well. So you come in, and then you go through your orientation in phase 1 phase. During that time, you're not allowed to really have visitors or use the phone, because we're trying to get you acclimated to the program, to the process. Some people have been out there for a long time, and just learning how to be still is challenging. Also, we have people coming in that haven't been long off of staying. We ask that people test clean when they come in, but that may only be a 7-day thing. You know what I mean? They may only have a week clean. So they're still detoxing, and they're still getting their focus and everything right. So that's a time where they're getting acclimated to the program. We're teaching them the principles and practices of what the rules are, what the principles are, what we do, why you're here. We're finding out more about them, and they're finding out more about us. So we're getting assessments done. We're assessing them for their physical health. We're assessing them for their financial situation. We're assessing them for their mental, health issues. We're assessing them in every area during this time. We're getting to know them, and they're getting to know us. And that can be anywhere from 45 to 60 days.
Okay. So you call in. So you can't walk in,
no.
Right? So the initial orientation, but the initial process is done by phone.
It's done by phone.
Now, do you also take referrals from other organizations? So let's say you're coming by referral. Is that also a phone?
It still would be an interview that we have with the individual.
Right.
Because again, it has to be their decision. We get referrals, except we do have people that are court ordered. because we're very much
Okay,
involved
so
with.
you are connected.
Oh my
Okay.
God, very much so. Prisons. We have people that have been incarcerated. We have one guy that's been incarcerated, 8 years. And he is just doing wonderful. So we take them from the streets to the, and from prison.
Okay, so my first step is I'm going to call in, and so then there's the phone interview.
Phone interview. Some people send letters if they're in jail, so they will
Okay.
send a letter too. And then
So
at some
that's what
point-
I'm saying. So now let's say that's your process. Now once you're out, before you actually enter the program, so I send a letter, am I going through the phone interview again once I'm released? Or am I coming there for a face-to-face?
You're going to be coming there for a face-to-face. That process, if you're in jail or prison, have already been done.
Does that
Either
count the
through-
Justice Center as well, or
Yes,
or
yes. If
upstate?
they're coming in from the Justice Center and they're court ordered, just about if they're court ordered and we have accepted them, then all of that process have taken place. And a lot of times we already know what's going on with the person if they're court ordered even before they get there, because
Right.
they have probation officers in the courts and things of that nature.
So coming to you from a correctional institution is going to be based on a court order. It's not that I heard about the program and I sent you a letter that I'm getting released next month.
Oh, it's based on that one too.
Oh, okay.
Remember, the people can come of their own. Most of the people we get are of their own, but we do get referrals from other institutions. We get referrals from other recovery programs that are not long terms. So it's referral, self-referral, and court ordered, if that's the way you want to look at it.
Okay.
Self-referral, court ordered, and services referral or other agency referral.
So basically, you got the whole gamut.
We got the whole
covered.
gamut covered.
It's there. So I come to the I call New Beginnings, and
Or you call the intake
I
line.
call the intake
Uh-huh.
line, and I'm speaking to whoever it is.
More than likely, you'll probably get a voicemail, because a lot of times it's we don't have anybody manning that per se. Sometimes if they do or not, but you're asked if nobody's manning that to leave your number. The contact is within 24 hours.
So I'm calling. I'm desperate, but I don't have a cell phone and I don't have a home phone.
I know, and then we've had people though to just come in, but they can't walk in. But that's something, things can be worked out if you say, hey, look, I don't have a phone, I'm calling you from this or that, then things can be worked out. Hopefully they can give us some way to get
reach
back
them.
with them. Yeah, but
Okay.
we can't just let people just walk in because of the nature of who we deal
And
with.
safety.
Oh my God.
But can it
come
be
on.
like an email? Like say for instance, because I may not have a phone and internet at home, but I can always go to the library and check my email.
Yeah, well, and if that's something that they would want to do, and they leave that down, however way we can contact you,
Okay.
we will. That's not a problem.
And I'm
That's
just asking.
yeah.
I'm just trying to get
Yeah.
out. And you know what I'm trying to do, Geneva?
trying to answer the person that's standing out there asking that question.
Yeah, and eliminate the excuse, because there's a point where you have to participate in your own rescue.
Yes,
Right? If
yes.
you've got everybody in the world trying to change your life for the better, but you're not participating, right?
right,
So let
right.
me ask this. All right, so I've gone through it. I've made the phone call. You've gotten back in touch with me.
We've
I
set
come
up a face-to-face.
We've done the face-to-face, and I'm in. Now I'm in the program, and you welcome me in, and you give me the welcome basket and all that. Is this dorm room style, or are there individual rooms?
The Exodus is dorm room style
Okay.
for the men's program. The women's program, they roommate, but they're apartment, they're house style, meaning you have a living room, dining room, kitchen, and then you go into the individual rooms where we've had some are 2-person rooms and some are 3-person rooms. That's at the New Beginnings. At the men's program, they are dorm style, where you have all the way from maybe 5 or 6 to a room, nice little areas for themselves, and then you have them always, the people who are progressing up, they may be 1 or 2 to a room. Then we also have an extended men's program at Magnolia that they
So Magnolia is still active.
it's a whole nother apartment building.
The one that was across from the
Behind
parking
it.
lot. Yeah, they were
Behind
working
it.
on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they have that for men who go up to phase 3, 4, 5. and they're able to go over there and they're working and they're getting their support system. So then they go over and they either have 1 or 2 men to a house, to a whole apartment at the living room, kitchen, but the dorm part is for our newer participants, for the men, and the women at New Beginnings, they have 2 to 3 people to a room.
And so, is that community kitchen or is there a dining room?
Oh no, we have a cook. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, we have somebody come in that prepare the meals.
Okay.
Now during the day they do eat at the men eat at the homeless shelter, so they can go over there and kind of interact with those guys. But no, we have a cook. You know, she prepares, buys, and prepares the meal.
All right, so now I've gone through the phone interview, I've gone through the intake, I've gotten in, I've gotten assigned my living space.
Then what?
What is next? 'Cause I know there are classes,
Yes.
which you have to
Yes.
have. So what's my next step now? I'm in my room, I'm ready, I'm there, I've made the commitment that I'm gonna have the courage to change.
Yes, yes.
So what am I doing?
And then again, you're just getting yourself familiar with where you're living, your new living situation. You get familiar with your roommates. You're getting information about the program. Again, we take them through a phase 1 orientation class. And then they also have classes that they go through. We have mindfulness class. We have relapse prevention class. They have man in the mirror. They have a mess group. They have people that come in and do Bible study, which we need. If you ever want to come in and do one, we really need men of God to come in and do Bible classes. And we have people from other churches come in. We have mentorship. So during this time, the first classes that you're going to be doing is orientation. You're going to be getting oriented into the ministry, what we are, who we are, the different phases, the understanding of the holistic approach, and we're also.
I'm just going to stop. Because the word holistic is thrown around a whole lot. A lot of people don't know what holistic is. What do you mean by holistic approach?
Meaning that we're just not going to deal with the symptoms of alcohol and drug abuse. We want to get down and deal with the why, the whole person. What's going on with you? What is your mental health issues? What is your physical health issues? People have so many things that have occurred from the time they use, some of them from the time that they make it to us, that they have been deprived and they have been reduced to nothing. And so holistically, we want to help you become a whole person. That's a well-rounded person in every area. And again, we deal with 7 areas of change, which is the physical, the mental, the spiritual, financial, economical, educational. We want to help you to get employment to where you're not just going to come in there and get clean and leave. That would be your choice.
And that's because that's setting you up for failure.
Absolutely. When you leave, we want you to be whole.
What about education? So I come in, I'm working on getting clean, I'm in here, I'm working the program, but at some point I'm going out the door and I'm no more qualified, and I'm not saying this is everybody's case, but I'm no more qualified walking out the door than when I came in, and that may have been a part of what started my descent.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Well,
because
I'm
we
glad
also
I did
have
too.
a Jobs Plus program under City Gospel Mission. It's so many services that we offer, and you're just getting me to even bring them back to my and really that's in the same building. So I don't have to remember it. It's just I needed something to trigger it. While they're in this initial phases, they're also going down to the Lord's Gym. So they're getting physical, and then right next door to the Lord's Gym is Jobs Plus. And Jobs Plus have a job readiness program that they are educating them and teaching them and training them about employment, and also if there's other schooling. We had a lady in her early 50s. She got her high school diploma. So we also, again, we refer out to DOM, community school or other schools.
Over on Reading Road.
Yeah. And so we have other resources and agencies that we plug into. If we don't have it, we know who do. So we want to make sure that you get your education. That is a part of our 7 areas of change. We don't want you to come in and not and leave the same way other than just being clean. No, if you don't know how to do a resume, you don't know how to do community,
Or how to read.
computer skills, how to read. Yeah, these are the, we will, that's why you're doing this assessment. We do assessments. We want to know what you're working with or what you're not working with. And how can we help you to become that whole person? And so, yes, we have either we offer it there or we provide it through resources with other agencies in the community.
Okay, so it's great. I know I keep going backwards, but we've done the phone call, we've done the in-person interview, we've gotten in, we've been assigned, we're starting the programming, or we're working through the program, we're getting the
Been
education,
assessed.
we're going to the gym, we're working out, we're doing the flying pigs, I think you
Oh,
mentioned
yes,
the
yes, the
10K
flying
and
pig, yeah, the
5K.
5K,
I'm doing all that, I'm getting stronger, I'm getting healthier, I'm getting wiser. But in the midst of my addiction, I lost my child. Or they took my child. Do you have referrals, or are there people through the program, through this process, to maybe help to get that individual started on hopefully reuniting with their children?
And that's something that we do refer out. Like I have a life coach, a girl that I life coach now. That's what she's getting ready to be in the process of, where her job is even going to help her. And Nehemiah is one of our partners.
Okay.
I don't know if they, and I am the spokesperson. I'm the liaison between City Gospel Mission and Nehemiah. Okay. And they are very good with.
That's Project Nehemiah. Right?
Project Nehemiah, yeah. And so they also are also offer referrals. That's something that we refer out either through Jobs and Family Services. People want to just call up a lawyer to say, hey, look, I want to do this. And we don't offer that particular service in terms of reconnecting, but we walk through and connect them to people who can. And so Nehemiah is also very good at legal in terms of offering, I don't know that they offer the legal advice, but they can offer legal advice, not the service. There you go. So that is something that we don't offer in terms of working directly. We do it indirectly, but not directly.
They can actually give legal advice?
No.
Because I was going to say, I know a lot of places stay away from.
Well, they can refer them.
Refer them out for refer them out for legal.
Yes.
Okay. So I've gone through all that. This whole process. I've graduated. We've had cake and punch and whatever else we had.
Oh no, the graduations is more than that.
Well,
they're really huge.
We've had pride rib and lobster, and we've graduated, and then what we don't want to see, but let's just be realistic that sometimes it happens. They've relapsed.
We have a lot of our participants. Unfortunately, they do. They leave and they're doing good, and then they have relapsed, and they have they've been able to come back. We have extended that to them because again, a lot of times maybe they've missed something, a lot of times the issues that plague us doesn't come out till long after we're in our recovery process. Some things we bury ourselves, and some things are buried because we're not ready to deal with them. And when we are, and we've left our safe place, and we just fall short, and we make those wrong decisions again. But we open our doors, to our participants to come back
So
if they
it's
make
not
it
a
back.
Goodbye.
Oh God,
we never knew
no.
you.
As a matter of fact, they have aftercare that we are very much involved with. Yes, and they meet twice a month at aftercare, and they show up and they kind of help each other. Like they facilitate their own aftercare group. We got a curriculum for them to follow, but they kind of facilitate their own groups. They support each other, and that's twice a month. Then they meet with me monthly, where they're urine screened, and I ask questions and use my old radar to kind of see where I think they are, and issues come up. I mean, it really does. And the sad part, Jackie, Pastor Jackson, Reverend Jackson.
Mama named me Jackie.
I like Jackie, but I also like to give people their respect too. But unfortunately, some don't make it back, and that's what's really sad. And one of the things I think that they do is that they underestimate the power of this disease, of this addiction. And we just had two actually that did not make it back. And it was very, very painful.
Now, I'm going to ask because, you know, we need to hit people with what's real. When you say did not make it back, they died.
They died.
From the addiction.
Yes, and their active addiction. And it's very sad because I think that when people leave the program and programs, not just ours, because we are one of the best, in my opinion, because of the longevity and the time that we put into it.
You give some time, and that's
we
a
give
good
it
thing.
all.
It's not like you spent 10 years in addiction and you're supposed to be good to go in 3 months. And
No.
that's just not realistic.
It's not realistic.
I want to ask this because before we run out of time, and I hate to hit you with statistics, and I know you didn't. You might already know it in your head.
But let me see.
So let's say, what is the success rate of having the courage to change?
As far as numbers, what are we looking at? 65, 75%? Is that the numbers you're looking at?
What would you say? You know, and I understand that addiction, I've been told, is you're continually in recovery. So, but from what you know, and if you don't have it, that's fine.
And I don't know that I have that number, but I'm gonna say between 75 to 86%.
Which is a nice percentage.
That's what I'm gonna say. But again, a lot of that depends. See, I'm gonna tell you something. The program, in my opinion, is 100%. If I don't work it, if I don't utilize what the program puts out there, it works if you work it. It works if you apply what's been given. It works if you have the courage to work it. And so the principles that we put out there are second to none.
Okay.
So again, that all depends on individuals. A lot of that, and there's some other factors besides if they want it or not. There's some other things going on too that are mental and physical, and like you said, the children. It's a lot of other factors.
Including that Ephesians, you know, we battle not against
flesh and blood. Come on.
So, you know, there's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
I want to ask you this, and we only have like a couple of minutes left. You seem to have a lot of passion for this. And you even said that when you started and you were paying rent to work. And you were paying to work where you were. Just real quick, why so much passion
because
for
I
this
am
situation?
them. I am a recovering addict. And I've been in the process for over 20-something years. And nothing hit or destroyed or damaged my life like being addicted to drugs. And my life has been totally turned around. You know, today I'm a real estate investor. I own properties. I own my own home. I have my own business, and I just got my real estate license. So there's nothing that my life is nothing like I thought it was, and I came from any type of no father home, where all of that, and if life can change for me, it can change for anybody. And that's why I'm so passionate, because I was able to find new life, new hope, and not just a little bit of life, a whole lot of life. And I believe my best is still yet to come. And if I can impart that hope into somebody else, then my living is not in vain.
Amen. Thank you.
You're welcome.
God
Thank
bless
you.
you.
God bless you too.
God bless you. Listen, I know you got some information that if it's not for you, it's for you to give to someone else. It's for you to pass on the gift of life, the gift of change, the gift of hope, the gift of recovery. I think Geneva has said everything. So that's all I'm going to say to you. Stay faithful. Stay healthy.
Amen.
There we go.
Amen. That was the bomb.